happened, Willie? What are you doing here?
Well...
You didn't crack up again, did you?
No.
Jeez, you had me worried there for a minute. What's the trouble?
Well, to tell you the truth, Howard, I've come to the decision that I'd rather not travel anymore.
Not travel? What do you do?
Remember, Christmas time? When you had the party here, and you said you'd try to think of some spot for me here in town.
With us?
Well, sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember. Well, I couldn't think of anything for you, Willie.
I tell you, Howard, the kids are all grown up, you know, and I don't need much anymore. If I could take home, well, $65 a week, I could...
Yeah, but Willie, see, I
really... I tell you why, Howard. Speaking frankly, and just between the two of us, I'm just a little tired.
Oh, well, I could understand that, Willie. I could understand that, but you're a road man, Willie, and we do a road business. We've only got a half-dozen salesmen on the floor.
God knows, Howard, I've never asked a favor of any man, but I was with this firm when your father used to carry you in here in his arms.
I know that, Willie.
Your father came to me the day you were born and asked me what I thought of the name of Howard. May you rest in peace.
I appreciate that, Willie, but there's just no spot for you here. If I had a spot, I'd slam you right in, but I just don't have a single solitary spot.
Howard, all I need to set my table is $50 a week.
Where am I going to put you, kid?
Look, it isn't a question of whether I can sell merchandise, is it?
No, but it's a business, kid, and everybody's got to pull his own way.
Just let me tell you a story.
Because you got to admit, business is business.
Yeah, business is definitely business. But just listen for a minute. You don't understand this. When I was a boy, 18, 19, I was already out on the road. I had a question, though, in my mind as to whether selling had a future for me. Because in those days, I had a yearning to go to Alaska. See, there were 3 gold strikes within a month in Alaska, and I felt like going out, you know, just for the ride, you might say.
Don't say.
Yeah. My father lived for many years in Alaska. He was an adventurous man. We've got quite a little streak of self-reliance in our family. I thought I'd go out with my older brother and see if we could find him, and then maybe I'd settle in the north with the old man. And I was almost decided to go when I met a salesman at the Parker House. His name was Dave Singelman. He was 84 years old. And he'd drummed merchandise in 31 states. And old Dave, he'd go up to his room, you understand. He'd put on his green velvet slippers, I'll never forget, and pick up the phone and call the buyers, and without ever leaving his room, at the age of 84, he made his living. When I saw that, I realized that selling was the greatest career a man could ever have. I mean, where else? What could be more satisfying than to be able to go at the age of 84 into 20 or 30 different cities and pick up a phone and be remembered and loved and helped by so many different people? Do you know, when he died, and by the way, he died the death of a salesman, in those green velvet slippers and in the smoker on the New York, New Haven, and Hartford going into Boston, when he died, hundreds of salesmen and buyers were at his funeral. Things were said on a lot of trains for months after that. In those days, there was personality in it. There was respect, Howard, and comradeship, and gratitude in it. Today, it's all cut and dried. There's no chance for bringing friendship to bear or personality. You see what I mean? They don't know me anymore.
That's just the thing, Willie. They don't know you.
If I had $40 a week, that's all I need. $40, Howard.
Kid, I can't take blood from a stone.
Howard, the year Al Smith was nominated, your father came to me.
I've got to see some people.
I'm talking about your father! There were promises made across this desk. You mustn't tell me you've got people to see. You can't just eat the orange and throw the peel away. A man is not a piece of fruit. I put 34 years into this firm, Howard, and now I can't pay my insurance. Now pay attention. Your father, in 1928, I had a big year. I averaged $170 a week in commissions, and I averaged that's right, $170 a week in the year of 1928.
Now, Willie, you never averaged $170.
I did. And your father, he came to me. Or rather, well, I was here in his office. It was right over his desk. And he put his hand on my shoulder.
You'll have to excuse me,
and
Willie.
he said
I gotta see some people. Pull yourself together. I'll come right back. So that's the other play that makes me cry when I read it in the season. And I'm so excited to share that piece with you. We've not seen it in Seattle in more than a decade. And so I think it's time to bring it back, especially in the context of these other plays. So, here to share his thoughts on Death of a Salesman and the legacy of Arthur Miller with me, please join me in welcoming to the stage our last guest of the evening. That's Associate Artistic Director of ACT of Contemporary Theater, Mr. John Langs. Okay, let me find this Andrew Russell card. You can ask me. Yeah, we signed it out. Okay, so this is obviously a piece of classic theater. This is not a play that was written, last year, the year before, like many of the others were. And right now you're directing Othello, aren't you?
I am.
Yeah. And at ACT, we're about to see Cat on Haunted Roof.
Yes.
Yeah. So, what do you think the importance or the value is in producing work from classic canons alongside of new and contemporary plays?
I mean, I think these plays, the ones that you're mentioning, Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, I'm certainly Death of Sales. I'm so inspired by hearing that language again. They remind us of a time when, as a country, playwrights had a chance to be great. It's very difficult now with any great playwright that I've come across, and you'll back me up on this maybe in the last couple of years, has gone straight to film and television. And I am watching over and over again as we begin to wrestle for plays or try to get commissions to writers, how quickly they're moving in that direction. I think it's because right now, that's where a lot of the great, all of the energy is getting focused in terms of great writing. But Miller, Williams, Inge, they were writing in a time where playwriting was king, and it mattered. So we have to continue to explore what they brought to sharpen ourselves, I think, to sharpen our own excellence.
Yeah, I love that. And what do you think about, what do you think it is about Death of a Salesman that is relevant to the times that we live in now?
I had a school teacher who said, if you do yourself one favor in drama school or in your life as an artist, read Death of the Salesman every 5 years. and I haven't done that, but just tonight, and I think it's because they're bottomless in some ways, and they're such round plays. You can come to it as a teenager, and you can think, wow, what an interesting and screwed up family this is. And you come to it as a 30-year-old and you say, wow, I really understand Biff's journey, or I really understand Happy's journey. Tonight, terrifyingly enough, I'm looking at Willie and going, wow, that's a remarkable journey that gentleman is going through. And, at some point in our lives, all of us are going to feel like attention must be paid in some way. And I think that there's no better story in the world to talk about that aspect, that any person is worth something. Mm-hmm. That when Linda sits over Willie's grave at the end and she's talking to her son, she said, he might not have been the greatest person in the world, but attention must be paid to a person who tried their best to live well. So I think it's a stunning piece, and it's wonderful to see it up here amongst all the other selections. Congratulations, by the way. I mean, what a season you picked, and to end with that, I think is perfect.
Awesome. All right, well, thank you so much for coming to talk to us about it.
Yeah.
And we look forward to
seeing what it is that you cook up